I just look like a dude that's doing in the stock market at home.
No, man, you look like an author writing a book. You're just like, where's my wine?
Oh man, you know what? I should buy some wine.
You should buy some wine.
Oh man, I think I have a. Brian got me to buy. It's like mixed margar. It's like a margarita mix.
Really?
It's like jalapeno and stuff. So I was with
Jalapeno?
Brian. We went to. It's a store called Pavilion. It's
Yeah,
basically like, it's like Safeway, Vons, kind of thing,
sure.
and it's owned by the same company that owns Safeway, and so.
Yeah, I just found out Safeway's not its own company.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we were there and Brian's like, "Oh, Daryl and I love like this margarita mix or this brand. They have like multiple different like margarita mixes and stuff."
Mhm.
And Brian says it's really good. You should get a bottle and like drink some at home. And I was like, "All right, sure."
Why not?
So I
Right?
grab a bottle and I took a drink of it when I got home because I had tacos, street tacos.
Tacos. Ooh, yum.
And it was pretty bad. It was honestly pretty bad.
Okay, Mr. Wine Connoisseur. Was it bitter?
No, it was just really strong. Like the alcohol itself was really forward
Was it
in everything. Like
white wine or red wine?
it was tequila, but it was very
Not
forward in the taste.
I mean, I understand it was like sangria, but tequila.
Yeah, well, Brian was saying it was good, so I was like, sure, I'll try it. So I bought
Right.
like a spicy margarita mix.
Oh, you're like, let me
So
spice this up.
it was like a jalapeno infused or something. So I bought it to try
Yeah.
it, and it was really bad. It was because I've had a lot of margaritas,
Yeah.
having lived in LA
Mhm.
and having younger friends that constantly want to go out to the bar and drink.
Sure.
So I'll get like a spicy mezcal with like jalapeno infused in there.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot where I feel like the spice and everything needs to balance.
Oh, yeah.
But this was like just alcohol like hits you right in the face, and yeah, it was not good. Yeah. I guess, yeah, welcome back everybody who's listening
It's been a while.
or watching. Yeah, it's been a long time, honestly. We were gonna review like Aquaman, and that kind of got thrown in the bin. Like, you watched it. I was
I
so
watched
busy
it.
driving back and forth from the Bay to
Yeah.
LA and everything. Like, I just didn't have the time to really sit down and watch it.
Oh,
And
sure.
then we were gonna do Argyle.
Argyle. That was my
But-
choice. But
Yeah, and then I just got held up with everything
I-
again.
I got held up too. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, so we didn't see that. And
No.
then a friend of mine actually, because he's part of my he's in mine and I'm in his, like the A-list like buddy.
Oh, yeah. The Stubbs A-list.
Yeah, the
AMC.
Stubbs eight. Yeah. So he's part of like my list of friends, and I'm on his. So he
Yeah.
like bought me a ticket without me knowing,
Oh, damn. That's exciting.
and then he told me, he's like, "Hey, I got you a ticket to go watch it opening night." I was like, "Oh, okay, sure. We
What a
should do this
bro.
for a review then if we're gonna
yeah.
go watch it."
Right? You're like, well, if I'm going to see it anyways.
Yeah, but yeah, my friend also bought the popcorn bucket.
The one that sold out.
Yeah, the one that looks very, very enticing, if you know what I mean.
Is it enticing?
Honestly, I grabbed popcorn out of his bucket. He was like, "Oh, grab one." So, because if you haven't seen the popcorn bucket, it's supposed to be the sandworm from Dune.
Yeah.
So it's a lid on the top with this little like sandworm popping out, and the inside is like the mouth, but it's like thick, kind of hard silicone on the inside, kind of like spiraling inside. So you put your hand in there, and when you're pulling the popcorn out, in my opinion, the silicone is so stiff, you could maybe grab one or two popcorns
How
as you're
stiff
getting
is
it out. Oh, it's very stiff, Alex. I'm not even kidding. It's so stiff.
That's because you gotta think people have different sized hands and just trying to like jam it in there.
Yeah, it
And
was.
if you're grabbing a fistful, like,
Yeah, it definitely was not practical.
yeah, it does not sound
No.
practical.
Yeah, but yeah. So we watched it opening night, and then well, I think I texted you the day before opening night. I was like,
I think it
"You
did.
want to watch?" I was like, "You want to review Doom Part 2? You go. You went sure. I was like, "All right,
I was
sounds
like,
good."
I'll do it. And then I'm like, oh, where am I gonna find the time for this? No,
But yeah, so
I was able to watch
oh
it Sunday afternoon. I was gonna say Saturday, but no, did Sunday with my girlfriend.
yeah, and then you mentioned to review it Monday, and I think Monday I was busy. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because I went to a Fall Out Boy concert.
Oh, how's that?
That was honestly fucking amazing.
Yeah, really?
So the openers, the openers at least that I remember that I saw, one was a band called Daisy Grenades.
Yeah.
I think they're like more of like a up and coming band, and then after that was the Main.
The main.
They're like,
Nice.
do you remember the Main?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like what 2000 early 2010s, right?
Sure.
Late
I
2000s,
don't
early
know.
2010s.
I just know of them.
And then after that, Jimmy Eat World.
Hey.
Yes.
There you go.
And they ended their whole like set with the middle.
Oh, I would hope so, honestly.
Yes. I was just waiting for that song. So
Yeah,
they
right.
ended with that. And then Fall Out Boy came out. And Fall Out Boy didn't even play like so this tour was for their Stardust album. But they didn't just play music from the album. They played like maybe 2-3 songs from the album, and then they played other songs like from their history. So
That's good.
they played like I think the first 2 songs was from Stardust, if I remember correctly, and then they went straight to Sugar We're Going Down. And once they did that, I was like, oh crap! If they're starting with Sugar We're Going Down, I would have assumed you end with Sugar We're Going Down.
Right? It's only up from here.
Yeah, and so like it's only going up from here, and it was pretty awesome. They had fireworks, they had fire. Like Pete Wentz, the bassist for Fall Out Boy, he had fire coming out of his bass guitar, like out of the ends of it.
They went all
like
out.
It's shooting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, and they decided. So near the end of it, Pete Wentz was like, "Oh, normally we haven't we just kind of play an encore here, but we decided we're just gonna play a couple songs." Couple more songs.
Why not? Right?
And yeah. So it was pretty awesome. It was cool seeing like the whole band just perform with all the theatrics, and they had literally a giant puppet dog head.
Yeah.
Like
Like
a giant puppet dog head. Like hanging
Yeah.
on the stage, and it's like opening its mouth and stuff, opening and closing and moving around and on the stage, like just kind of hanging there and moving around, like dancing.
flying, like floating.
Yeah, like it's floating.
Yeah, it was just that's interesting.
So that's based off of the album cover. The album cover for Stardust it's like a Rottweiler, not a Rottweiler. It's like
Pitbull,
like a German pincer. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, the pincer with the pointy ears.
Yeah. So it's like that. And then they had like these beach balls, kind of like clear beach balls flying around, like people bumping them up in the air.
Did you bump it?
Which is also,
Did you bump one?
No, we were up on like the balcony.
Damn, you're like, yeah.
But
hit it up
but
here,
afterwards, we realized like that wasn't just like for fun. It's also based off the album cover, because the album cover is like the dog trying to eat bubbles.
Oh. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, and they played music from like their first album, which is actually not from Under the Cork Tree, but from an album called Take This to Your Grave. So they played songs from that. They played songs from Under the Cork Tree. They played songs like This Ain't a Scene. And then they also played like they played medleys of some of their older songs, which and then they ended that medley with a Queen cover.
Wow.
Yeah, they played a lot of songs. It was awesome.
That's
And
fun.
it's funny because oh, you're gonna say?
Oh yeah, did they play We Didn't Start the Fire? Their remake of it?
So we were hoping that they did, but they
Right?
didn't. So here's
No.
what they kind of did. They kind of did it.
Okay.
So before they actually came out to stage to play, they played the like where you're waiting for the band to like set and everything.
Yeah.
Right before that happened, they played the audio version of "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they played it like audio wise,
Yeah.
and Claire and I were just sitting there like, "Aw, we wanted to see this live."
You
know?
But why live?
Yeah, I was like, I wanted it live. Why only why the recorded version of it? So we saw that, and then it's funny because so me in high school grew up huge Fall Out Boy fan. Like through middle school, high school, was a huge Fall Out Boy fan. So I knew all the songs that they're playing.
Nice.
But after the concert, Claire was straight up like looking into Fall Out Boy, like watching YouTube interviews with Fall Out Boy. She suddenly got really into them.
Yeah, she's falling down a rabbit hole, man.
Yeah. And so and also like like Panic at the Disco, right?
Oh yeah.
So for me, growing up, it was always Panic at the Disco or Fall Out Boy. But I always felt that like people would say their voices are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, I think Patrick Stump's voice is a little different. It's different. It's also grittier than Brendan Urie's voice. But yeah, we had this whole conversation with Claire about it afterwards. Because Claire is classically trained as a singer.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, she's classically trained, like grown as a child through like adulthood.
Oh.
Yeah, she's classically trained. So I always ask her to get her insights on like what she thinks about certain singers and whatnot. So she said with Patrick Stump, she was like, she straight up in the car, she's like, honestly, Patrick Stump is one of the best singers I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
But she also said that she could tell that he's somewhat self-taught. Mm-hmm. And she says while he's very amazing with his voice, his range, and his power, she says the only problem is, at least in her opinion, that might be a problem later on down the line for him, is that he always sings at 100. He never has a song where he's just kind of like just singing through it.
Oh,
which she says it's on. Like if you're, she says it could be a problem, which is why a lot of singers will have slow songs that to kind of like
offset it.
Yeah, so she says that could be a problem just because it's like if you're working out, if you're like constantly just lifting max, without breaks,
right? Yeah,
so she says that's what she doesn't know what kind of routine he has for his voice. But yeah, that was basically why we did not record on Monday. And then yesterday we didn't record because I had a friend that wanted me and some other friends to meet his new girlfriend.
That's fun.
Yeah.
She nice?
Went for Korean barbecue. She's nice.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was the only like Asian guy there at the Korean barbecue. So I was the one ordering the meats.
You're like, I got this, guys. Let me cook.
They're like, what meats do we order? And like, because they straight up got chicken. So the Korean bar we went to, it's here in LA, in K-Town. Yeah. It's called Gangnam Station Korean Barbecue. Mm-hmm. Right? And they have, on their menu, they have A or B. B is more expensive meats. Right. A is like the cheaper meats. So we order from A. But there's part 1A and part 2A. Part 2 is like the meat bar. The meat bar is for both A and B.
Okay.
But the meat bar has like marinated teriyaki, like they had bulgogi or whatnot. And so one of them, they had chicken on there. And I straight up told people, I was like, I am not ordering chicken. Like, I am not ordering for us chicken.
Yeah.
And my other friend was like, why not? Like, I love chicken. I was like, I am not coming to a Korean barbecue to order the cheapest piece of meat when it's all you can eat.
That's why you don't order chicken.
Yeah, so they grabbed the chicken teriyaki, and I was like, guys, why? Like, my thought is like, why? This is it's gonna take time to cook. And we literally just got brisket to the table, and we gotta wait for this chicken to cook.
Yeah.
So I cooked the chicken. I didn't eat any of the chicken. I literally just cooked it for them, and I was like, all right, guys, you can grab your pieces.
Yeah,
so I can put the brisket on here. Like, grab your meat so I can put the brisket on there. But yeah, so we did that, and then my friend's girlfriend wanted us to go try. She said she wanted us to try Korean fried cheese, and I was like, "What do you mean by Korean fried cheese?" And
What's
I
Korean
realized,
about it?
no, I realized. Do you remember? Do you remember Korean corn dog?
Yeah.
It's basically the Korean corn dog, just with
cheese.
with cheese inside. Yeah, and they put sugar.
Funny.
I was like, Korean fried cheese? What is that? And then when I saw, I was like, oh, they were like trying it, and they're like, oh, David, try it. And I'm like, I've had this before, guys.
Yeah, it's just a Korean corn dog without the dog.
They're like, oh, David thinks he's better than us. I was like, no, it's just I've had this before.
Like, but also yes.
But yeah, so we had that, and then afterwards went to the bar, and I didn't get home until midnight, so I was pretty tired. But yeah, today didn't have any plans. I mean, again, was about to go to a happy hour thing for work, and then I was like, nah, I don't want to drive that far. Drive 30 minutes through traffic just to get there, and then it ends at 8.
And then drive back, and then go to sleep.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. But yeah, we are, after that long story, we are back to review.
15 minutes into it. So yeah, we should actually do the main topic.
So we are going to review Dune. I mean, I feel like I probably said it already. Dune Part 2.
Part 2.
So, fun fact, did you know, so Part 2 is actually not like the second book.
Yeah.
It's the first book.
I know. I
didn't know that.
I did. You didn't know?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't know that until I think I was watching interviews with the cast.
Yeah.
Or I think it was either that or one of the reviewers I generally listen to. He mentioned this is part 2 of book 1. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That makes it. I thought they were just being artistic with the part 1.
Part 3 is coming out next.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
No, there's actually, I think, 3 more books in the series.
Is it 3? I thought there was 3 books in total. Or is it 4 books?
I don't know. There might be 3 books in total, but I know after he passed away, his son did do another book, sometime in the 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, that book's pretty thick. I own it. I've only read half of it.
Yeah, I have not read any of the books.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of science fiction is actually inspired by Dune.
Oh, sure. And the book was was published in 1965.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because you hear the lingo, you're like, it's weird. It doesn't.
Yeah, no one talks like this.
Yeah, like in the part 1, where Jessica was talking to the maid, like, hey, I noticed a dagger, a weapon on your bodice, and I read that in the book, and I'm like, what's a bodice again? I had to freaking look that up. I was like, what does it even mean? Bodice.
By the way, I'm gonna be eating cough drops while we're doing this. It's just my throat. It's like a sore throat still.
Yeah,
so
you kind of are dressed. That's sick.
Dressed like a dressed like a writer at home.
Yeah,
who has writer block.
A little disheveled. I
have writer's block.
Shadow. Yeah. You're like, I need inspiration.
Yeah. This is why I watch Dune, for ideas.
Part 2.
But yeah, so I didn't know that until seeing some interviews beforehand. And then going in to watch the movie, which, by the way, should we mention the synopsis at all?
I don't think we need to.
No? Okay.
No, I think
I wrote it down.
The first episode where we don't ever mention the synopsis. This is our transition period. again.
All right.
I also wrote it down, but I was like, they know Dune Part 2.
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, I also wrote it down just in case.
Yeah, I wrote it down too. It's just like we kind of started talking about it already.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, you can say the synopsis if you want.
All right. So let's quickly go over it. Quick movie synopsis. Paul Atreides unites with Chani, but they call her Johnny.
Johnny.
Right?
It's
Johnny?
Chani.
Okay. Paul Atreides unites with Chani and the Fremen while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the universe, he must prevent a terrible future only he can foresee. Yeah. So the movie budget was $190 million, and already they've made $198 million.
Not surprised. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
People are raving about it.
So, quick thing, like story-wise, I didn't like the first Dune too much. Like, I thought it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, it gets more political in the first one. It's just trying to set the scene up.
I think, I don't think the problem was political. It was just felt like so much setup.
Yeah, they're throwing a lot of information, a lot of names you have to remember, and then you're like, they're very similar too. Like, House of Trees, and then the planet is Arrakis, and you're like, wait, they both start with A.
Yeah, and not only that, like it just felt like a lot of what's the word, like where it's like what's the word was where they're trying to like give you information not through action but through words.
Dialogue?
Yeah, a lot of not dialogue. Is it dialogue?
If you're talking about words, right?
It's like when you're watching a science fiction movie and they just start talking a lot of like gibberish mumbo jumbo trying to set up the world.
Well, yeah, because in the book you can do that with just like words without the dialogue. You're reading the narration in the book. It's just in the movie. There's no like Morgan Freeman's voice saying what's going on, what's happening. He can't set up the world. Yeah, I guess what you could have done is like a Star Wars thing, where it's like you have words before. Yeah, and you read it and it sets up the universe for you, sets up the movie.
I don't know if it's that. I just feel like the first part one, they never really gave me, or like at least for me, they never gave you time to breathe.
Yeah, it was a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, they're
throwing everything at you.
Yeah, they're just throwing everything at you, and like there's no time to breathe. They're just trying to just build the world.
That's kind of how it feels like in the book too. In the beginning, they just throw things at you, and this is a 2.5 hour movie. They're trying to compact this, to where it's like, oh yeah, okay, they want to get as much information they can from the book because they're splitting this into 2 movies for a reason. It's kind of like The Hobbit was in like 3 parts.
But honestly, it didn't need to be 3 parts.
No, it didn't need to be 3 parts. Considering that, The Lord of the Rings, each one was a movie. So it's just this movie. I mean, there's a reason that he was turned down, and an automotive publisher actually published his book.
Oh,
because no like traditional book publishing company wanted to publish the book. And I hear that happens a lot with authors though, because the first book usually never gets published.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah, watching part 2, I do think it helps me appreciate part 1 better.
Oh yeah, because part 1 you get all that set up, and then part 2
everything now makes
no
sense.
It's
everything here now. Yeah. Everything here, like, it makes sense. I can follow the story now. It works.
And that's what I like about it, is it continued where the first one ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're still walking in the desert, going to the Fremen base. Yeah.
And then, honestly, when they started the movie off, I was like, oh yeah, he killed one of their men. Yeah. Like, in a battle. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. I totally forgot. Like they killed because there's a body in the beginning of the movie. Like the men are just carrying
in a bag, and you're like, what is that bag for?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And can I say one thing? I think it's kind of gross how they suck the water out of people, and they just like I'm happy they said we don't drink from this water.
Well, no, as that water was dirty.
I thought the guy says they don't drink from it. No.
No. You're talking about the like the bounty hunters, or not the bounty hunters, but the people that are coming to kill them, right?
No. Do you remember there was like when they suck the water out of like their dead or whatnot?
Yeah.
They put it into like this kind of this. It's kind of like a tunnel full of water.
Oh yeah. Okay. Later on.
Yeah, and he's like, we don't drink from this. I'm like, okay, that's good to know.
Well, yeah, but just because it's from Fremen, but anyone else they would drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I got from it. Because they're because they're the main guy's talking to Jessica like, don't puke, don't do it, don't waste that water. Mm-hmm. And then when they're gonna in the end of the first one, they're gonna kill him and get their water.
That's true.
Yeah,
forgot about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I do have to say the CGI was pretty on point in this one.
Yeah, CGI was pretty good.
And considering that it is a Warner Brothers production, there's like, what happened to this in the DCEU? Like, no.
Honestly, I think they just stopped. Either they just stopped because they're like, oh, we're not going to continue with this universe anyway. Like, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, they're like, we already have 1 foot out the door with this.
Yeah, there's no point in wasting more money.
No, right.
To fix the CGI.
And then I see movies like this that they produce, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't see any issues with the CGI. Like, it's really funny how they're like, yeah, okay, for this one, we're going to throw a bunch of money at it. Which is great. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
And, at times, I felt like, man, yeah, there's this video game, blinking on it. The one we bought recently, David.
Oh. I forgot the name right now.
Helldivers 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so throughout the movie, at times I'm just like, I just kind of want to play Helldivers 2 now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Another thing, I do feel, though, that the romance between Paul Atreides and Chani felt really rushed.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if that's just me.
No, I mean, again, it's like with any book adaptations, it's always going to feel rushed because there's really no time in the world that because I just remember fit that into a movie and still have viewers glued to the TV.
Yeah, because you disappeared.
I know. I'm coming back. I'm back.
Yeah, because I just remember, like, what was it? There's that moment where he decides to go into the desert on his own, right?
Yeah.
For like their challenge, like you have to walk this far and walk back, basically.
Yeah. Spend the night in tent.
Yeah, and then Chani basically kind of follows him.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
And then next thing you know, I'm assuming months or something has passed that they're now together.
Yeah, right, they're in the tent.
Yeah, and I'm like, what happened?
I was like, that's a time skimp.
Yeah. So, like, I do feel like they tried their best to set up, like, oh, she might have some interest in him in the beginning.
Yeah, they did.
But I do, by the time they were together, I was like, oh, so this is happening now.
Yeah. And, I mean, and the only thing with that is, like, yeah, okay, it doesn't create slow parts, normally. But then you also have that added effect of, oh, this is going really fast. Yeah. It doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're skipping around a lot.
Yeah. I will say, though, I did like, that once you got to the end of the movie, I felt that tension between the two of them.
Yeah, right?
Oh, I know, right? That ending, I was like...
Boy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in the spoilers.
I mean, we're already kind of talking about spoilers no matter what at this point, right? Yeah. I feel like it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. David doesn't care. No spoiler warning.
The movie's already been out.
It hasn't even been a week.
It's fine.
Well, I guess you say the book's been out for what?
But
60 years? Oh,
yeah. Like that tension that like that kind of builds once he drank. So in a way,
yeah.
I kind of just have multiple thoughts here. I feel like Dune for sure is more Star Wars than Star Trek.
For sure.
Right? Because the whole like what's she called? Sacred Mother or something?
Yeah, the Sacred Mother.
Yeah. The whole thing about how she becomes a Sacred Mother and stuff and having visions and the prophecy, I was like, oh, this is magic hippy dippy stuff.
Yeah. You're like, this is not exploration of the universe.
Yeah, this is not science like Star Trek.
Wait, that's funny because it came out before Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah, so I can see the inspirations of like some of this to Star Wars.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
But is it me? But does Paul Atreides, once he drinks that, the blue liquid, water of life,
which is crazy how they get it
from a worm, an infant worm.
Yes.
They basically drown it. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
But once he drank that and he woke up, I was like, oh, he's a different person now.
Oh, yeah.
This vibe
because
is
it
different.
opened his mind. LSD.
Yeah, it felt... Maybe it's just me, but I felt like he turned from the hero to the anti-hero.
Yeah, because he was more cold and calculated.
Yeah.
And he had an end goal, and he's just getting there no matter what.
Yeah. And I think that's where that...
At the ending scene.
And I think that's where the friction suddenly starts happening between him and Chani.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this... Oh, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. And because Chani was the one that's like, hey, you can come down south with us. And Paul's like, no. If I do that, people are going to die and I'm going to be different. But damn, she did not know.
Yeah. Is his mom... Because his mom, his mom, to become part of, so that she doesn't get killed, she decides to become the new Sacred Mother.
Yeah.
They have her drink the water of life.
Yep.
And then they realize they made a mistake because she's pregnant.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
I didn't understand that either.
I think maybe they were like, oh no, they could kill the child because that water of life is just poison that they're drinking.
It turned the child into like a telepathic adult or something.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah. Which you're like, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know about that. It also opened her mind.
Yeah, it also opened her mind, but it was like weird because after his mom became the Sacred Mother and everything, I felt like she suddenly became the villain.
Yeah, she was more of a villainess at that point.
Yeah,
and, as well as she was cold and calculated, and she also had an end goal, and was just doing everything she can to get to it.
Yes. So okay, good to know that it wasn't just me because I'm not sitting there. I was like, "The fuck is happening?"
No, yeah.
I was like, "What is happening here?"
People are changing.
Yeah. And they also introduced a new character in this movie, played by Austin Butler. Played by Elvis. Fade Rotha Harkonnen.
Yep. The cousin.
Yes. Okay, so is he a cousin? Because he calls... What's the Harkonnen guy? The big fat guy? Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his name, but I could look into it.
Let me pull it up.
It's Baron.
Baron?
Yep.
It is Baron, yeah. Yeah. They call Baron Vladimir Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because he calls him uncle.
Yep.
So I'm trying to do the math. Because Paul Atreides is his grandson. Because they reveal this. He's the grandson.
I'm gonna stop you there. No amount of math is gonna work because these guys just procreate whenever.
I guess.
Because the Baron, he's pretty old. He can be old and still be like, oh, I'm just gonna have, bear child, or
No, because they said that the Baron is his mom's father. Is Paul Atreides' mom's father?
Yeah.
So that makes him Paul Atreides' grandpa.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're calling him if Fade Rotha is calling him uncle, does that not make him cousins with his mom?
It does.
So you go down another step. Is it still cousins?
It's second cousin.
Okay, I guess. Okay, that's what I'm trying to understand. That was me trying to understand that because I was like, what? The math?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He was pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah, it's pretty ruthless.
Yeah, he seemed very like just stab hungry. Like he just wanted to stab everything. But at the same time,
like Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
If you will.
But also, I do feel like his death was kind of meh at the end. Because I felt like they built him up as like this crazy like fighter.
Honestly, I was very surprised how little screen time he actually got. Because he is like the new villain, and then it's like we didn't see too much of him. And then by the end, it's like, oh, he's dead. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
But also going off of that, the fight scene, at least with him and Paul, wasn't quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did kind of lengthen it a little bit. So, I mean, at least there's that, because in other fight scenes they're pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like they could. Yeah, I kind of wish they did more with his character.
Yeah, and again, it's like I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to make the second book into a movie or what. But yeah. You kill off the main villain. You're like, okay, well, who's the other villain? One of your house members? You're going to go against the houses now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because at the end, they basically, they cause a civil war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other houses don't recognize Paul's, you don't recognize them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also found so maybe it's just me, but I thought it was kind of funny to see Christopher Walken.
Dude, that was great.
I saw that.
And I was like, oh shit.
Because so obviously the impersonation of Christopher Walken is like it's an overplayed version of his voice.
Yeah, right.
But even then, like I just feel like hearing Christopher Walken as the Emperor talking with that like kind of. It's that New Yorker accent or something that he has that's still always there. It's like he never loses it.
He never does. Right? He can't. It's part of him.
And it's always there. So it was weird just to hear him talk at times.
Let's be honest. If you're casting Christopher Walken, you want his voice.
True.
You're not going to want to change. You get him for the voice.
Yeah. Oh, I should say, because I tried watching. This is before Dune Part 1 came out. I tried watching the original Dune 1980s movie. Could not watch it.
Yeah.
Could not watch it. It was very confusing.
Oh, because they put everything into one movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're like, okay, that's action-packed. That's going to cut scenes. You're going to skip a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fight scene in that one was not good. With the cubes. The blocky, like, look, yeah, have you seen it?
No, I have not.
So when they fight in the original 1980s movie, you know how, like, they turn on that shield protection thing?
Yeah.
So in the 1980s movie, where they turn it on, it's like they're covered in this Roblox suit.
Yeah.
and they start. So it's like really weird because it's like the way they did it was they literally just kind of drew on the cubes.
Yeah.
On the scene afterwards.
They had back then that technology.
Yeah. So when you're watching it, I remember watching it and I was like, this looks so stupid. And I was like, I can't watch this.
You're like, nah, man, I'm out.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. So having seen how they do it in this movie, where it's like some kind of vibrating shield.
Yeah, then it just goes invisible.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It made it so much easier to watch.
Yeah, right. Because you're not distracted by it. It doesn't take you out of it.
Yeah. And then I was also really surprised but happy to see Josh Brolin, his character, come back.
Dude, yeah, and when I saw him, I was like, oh shit, is he working for the Harkonnens?
Oh, I was wondering about that too. Yeah, right? I was like, how are you still alive?
Yeah, dude. Because last time we saw him in Dune Part 1, he was going off to fight against them, and that's it.
Yeah, and that was all we sat. A part of me sat there. I was like, does that mean there's a chance for Jason Momoa to come back? I was like, does he come back at all?
Yeah, I think I heard that people can come back in this universe.
Oh,
but don't quote me on that. I have to read the books.
Oh, fun fact. Do you know who played Josh Brolin's character, Gurney Halleck?
Yeah.
Do you know who played him in the 1980s movie?
Josh Brolin's dad?
No.
No. What?
I'll give you a hint. Logan. Engage. You don't know?
No. Logan Engage.
No, that he says two different things in two different movies.
Okay. Is it Yoda?
No. Patrick Stewart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
Okay. Yeah.
Logan. Do you remember in the last Wolverine movie? He's like dying.
That's a while, dude.
Or like when he says engage, Star Trek.
Yeah, but
engage.
Yeah, okay, it's coming back to me now.
But yeah, so that seeing him come back, I thought was cool because I was like, oh, okay, so he didn't die at least. But I thought it was weird how they ambushed, like how the Fremen ambushed him at first. I was like, bro, if you were one step behind, like his people would have been killed.
You mean like how they ambushed in general? Or
like how, remember where they ambushed Gurney and his guys when they were just trying to mine for spice?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I could tell by your footsteps it was you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I was like, bro, I don't even know if I would want to risk that.
Yeah, that was pretty close, actually. When I saw that, I was like, are they going to kill the rest?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was cool to see him come back. It was also... There's a lot of actors in here. Like, I wasn't expecting to see Anya Taylor-Joy play, like, the younger sister.
Dude, right?
You know?
Yeah, I was like, whoa. But she was only there for one scene.
Yeah. Which was, I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, when the sister gets born, are they going to fast track that or what?
Yeah. And then I totally forgot Florence Pugh was in this movie. Mm-hmm. She was playing the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. With an American accent. Was not expecting that at all.
Well, I mean, what kind of accent were you expecting?
I don't know. I guess once they showed that, what was it? Once they showed that that the emperor was
Walken?
Christopher Walken. I should have assumed.
Yeah, right. You're like, why would she sound any different?
Well, you know what they should have done? They should have had her talk with like a New York like Queens accent, just like Christopher Walken.
That would be insane.
They should have just had her talk with that accent and just like Be like, yes, because the king talks, the emperor talks like this. This is how the daughter talks.
But I guess you could argue that he could have sent her away. I mean, she is a Bene Gesserit too.
She is a what?
Bene Gesserit? Gesserit?
What does that mean?
That's what they are. The witches.
Ah.
That's
what
they're called.
Okay. Damn. I'm literally looking at their Wikipedia right now, and I'm like, oh, I now know who ends up with who.
You're like, spoilers upon spoilers.
Hey, it's fine. There's a book out already. Anything else you wanted to mention?
Actually, I think we covered it all on my end.
Yeah.
Okay. We should mention, since we are B-roll thoughts, David, what was your thoughts on the B-roll scenes?
The B-roll scenes?
Yeah, just the scenery in general, like without any talking heads.
So the scenery itself, I think they shot this movie somewhere in like, let me see where they shot it again, because I remember hearing them talk about it.
Yeah.
So you know how like they're all wearing like these thick black suits and stuff, right?
Yeah, which is
like,
surprising in a desert area.
Yeah. So they shot this in like in like Budapest, Abu Dhabi, where they shot in Budapest, Hungary. They also shot in Abu Dhabi, and I remember hearing them talking in an interview during like oh yeah, when we were shooting Abu Dhabi, it was like 100-something degrees.
Yeah.
And so imagine wearing all that, like sweating,
right. Dude, honestly,
in that heat.
I couldn't do it. I would die.
Yeah, so it was interesting to see like how they use like actual areas that we like, places that exist
instead of just green screening it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice to do that actually, because I mean, I know looking at it, you're like, wow, you do not see any of the footprints from the crew. Like,
yeah,
it's immaculate. You only see the footprints from the actors that were walking.
Yeah.
And they even keep the footprints there. Like when Paul was walking over to ride the worm for the first time.
Yeah.
It cuts out in a wider cut. And, he's standing there for a while, but you actually do see his footprints walking from up to the base. And
I also like, I was going to say with the worm, quick thing, I like that they actually had like a part like for him to stand on. Like they built it out and everything with like different sections.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It was like cool. A practical thing to have.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, because I'm thinking, okay, they ride the worms.
Yeah.
What keeps the worm from going under? And they're showing that it's breathing. They pull up the skin and let the air holes breathe so it doesn't go under.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, that's great detail right there.
Yeah. Soundtrack was also pretty awesome. Pretty good. Also done by the great Hans Zimmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you wouldn't know. You didn't hear the wah.
In every action-packed trailer.
Yes. You didn't hear that, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the whole scenery, so with the desert, I was like, oh, this is cool because I knew it was like practical.
Yeah.
With the Harkonnens, with their, what was it, the Baron laying in his like goopy water.
Yeah, just recovering.
Yeah, I was watching with the interview with the cast. One of the interviewers was like, "Oh, like, did any of you guys like have that urge to want to come up to the water and just like put your hand in it?" And they're like, "No, it was like they saw it, like they showed up on the day of set when they were shooting that."
Yeah.
And what's his name? Timothée Chalamet. Mm-hmm. He's like he showed up to take photos with the cast and stuff, like for the first day of shooting. Yeah. And he saw that and they felt so bad for Stellan Skarsgård because he had to like constantly go in and out of that goopy mess.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting also with the Harkonnens that they kept everything like similar in style. Mm-hmm. Like all the Harkonnens are bald.
Yeah.
No eyebrows.
Right.
Yeah.
hairless.
Yeah, they're all hairless.
And it's cool that when they have like a gladiator type thing going on,
Yeah.
they all are kind of like powdered white.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was like, oh, that's their makeup. That's their celebration wear.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah. I do feel, at least in the Harkonnens, like if it's their planet or whatever it is, it was definitely more stylized than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It felt like I was watching a Zack Snyder movie. If that makes sense. Like the way it was, the scenes were kind of like colored.
Yeah. And some scenes were kind of like, you got that dark overtone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the fireworks thing that they were shooting off. It was like
so cool. The
water.
Watches. Yeah.
Yeah. That also made me think of Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, I like how each house is their own little unique taste.
Yes. Yeah, the emperor's, like, his land, it felt like you're in a garden in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and anything, I guess, should we get to the score?
Let's get to the score. Score it up.
All right. Well, all right, you can start it off because you've read the books.
I read half of the first one only. But honestly, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It was really that good. I enjoyed it. But, I mean, I know it's hard doing a movie adaptation from a book.
Yeah.
So, but I think they did a pretty good job with it. I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I'd probably give it a 9. Because after watching it, I was talking to my friends. I was like, honestly, I could see myself, like, now having seen this part 2.
Yeah.
I would totally do like a movie watch party.
Right.
Yeah, and like, because when the first movie came out and they, like, Warner Brothers released it straight to HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
I made a movie themed alcoholic drink for Dune.
That's fun.
Like, I looked it up, and it was called the Water of Life.
Water of Life. Dude, give me hallucinations.
Oh no! I wish it did.
Right?
It was, so I'll show you a photo of it later.
Yeah.
It was basically like Empress gin with the mixture of like lime juice, ginger beer. So it was like blue turned to like purpley.
Yeah.
Kind of gin. And it was pretty good. So I think if I could do it again, I'd probably do that and then like just invite people over and just like have, drinks for people to have. Ugh.
3 in a row.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
But yeah, I think I'd probably give it a 9.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable.
David.
Yeah.
It
was good.
Score.
Like, honestly, with when it's January, February, you don't really have that many good movies out.
You don't, and actually, it's surprising that it came out. You think it'd be a summer hit?
Yes,
and it would be too. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, why wait that long, right? When you could just release it now, other than just raking in that cash flow.
True.
Yeah.
What movies are coming out later after
Deadpool
this?
2.
Oh yeah, there's Deadpool. No, 3.
3.
Deadpool 3.
Deadpool and Wolverine, actually.
Oh yeah. There's that.
Exciting.
There's the that If movie, right, with Ryan Reynolds as well. The Imaginary Friend movie.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like,
Steve
after
Carell.
this. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, after this, what do we review? There's, like, not really much coming out after this, right?
I'll have to double check it out. I haven't looked.
Let me check really quick.
Check it out, David.
AMC Theaters.
AMC, what you got for us? I find it hard that with AMC Theaters, at least in the app, when you go like, oh, well, it's up and coming, it doesn't give it all in a nice, clean order.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes out, it's kind of like thrown about, and I'm like, okay, gotta keep searching then.
There is Kung Fu Panda 4.
Oh, Oh, yeah, I think that's already out.
Is it out already?
I think so. That is coming out this weekend. I have a couple coworkers that are going to see that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Coming soon. Kung Fu Panda 4. Cabrini. I don't know what that is. Arthur the King. It's the Mark Wahlberg movie with the dog. Like they go on like a triathlon or something, and a dog follows them along.
Oh, okay. It's a feel-good movie.
Yeah. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Oh, yeah, I've seen previews. Oh, there's another Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. March 29.
Yeah, I saw that preview.
Yeah. Oh, so there are some good movies coming out. Yeah. There's Fall Guy, the one with Ryan Gosling.
That dude, I'm looking
the Fall
to
Guy.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's coming out.
And then Furiosa.
Yep, Mad Max.
Yeah. There's a good number of movies. We'll figure out what to review next.
Yes. I say Fall Guy.
You don't want to do Godzilla King Kong?
When does that come out?
It's like March, end of March.
We can do that. No, we can do both. We'll see.
It sounds good.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
I guess that's our review.
Another fantastic review done.
Yeah. And we'll see what we review next.
Yeah, all right. Cool.
All right.
Catch us on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast, and YouTube.
Yes.
Which YouTube now has podcasts. Or YouTube Music, at least.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, no Google Podcasts anymore, sadly.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
Cool. Catch you on the flip side.